Welcome back to First, the Last, the Nerdom, the podcast where we dig into the first, the last, and everything in between across film, television, and pop culture. And once again, it's time to dust off the magnifying glass for one of our favorite recurring segments, Bingeworthy. The premise is simple. We pick a TV show we're curious about and or finally getting around to, which is the first three episodes. Then we decide if it earns a full binge or gets left cold on the case. This week, we're stepping into the rainy streets and quiet offices of CB Strike, the British private detective series based on the novels by Robert Galbraith. Anchored by a grounded, character-driven approach to mystery, the show follows war veteran turned investigator Cormoran Strike and his sharp, capable partner Robin Ellacott as they navigate complex cases, personal baggage, and the slow burn of a partnership built on trust. And a little bit of tension there too. We'll be breaking down just how those first few episodes established the show's tone, its central characters, and its approach to modern detective storytelling. Does CB Strike deliver enough intrigue, atmosphere, and character depth to keep us watching? Or is this just a case better solved one episode at a time? So pour a cup of tea, sharpen your instincts, and follow the clues. This is Bingeworthy. This is the First, the Last, the Nerdom. And this week, we're opening the case files on CB Strike. Yes, Mr. Galbraith was the author, and good job on that intro. However, I might not have been the best person in the world to do that. But with that being said, I just want to do some plugging, pay the bills, and then we'll get going here very quickly. You can always find me and Tom, if you choose to, on our website, home base, www.firstlastnerdom.com. Of course, as always, we are at First Last Nerdom on YouTube, where you can always see our latest edition. And those are also in our 3 playlists there for flipping the pages and Bingeworthy, and then our main show, First Last Podcast. But I'll hand it off to you, Tom.
Hey, I noticed old man Logan finally hit double digits. But
Yeah, that was good.
I'm seeing a trend here on Reddit. I'm First Last Nerdom, and I promote our stuff there. So you might have seen me posting around and came over to check us out. If you did, thanks for checking us out. I'm also on X under First Last Nerdom, and I promote our stuff. As soon as our stuff comes out, I promote it here. I'll also have some nerd ramblings occasionally. But yeah, that's my socials there. Mike, you have some as well.
I am also available on X. You can find me at Sofa King Jewish _. And with that being said, we're going to get into CB Strike. Now, you picked this one out. I was not familiar with this one at all. This one I like this one. I don't know if do you remember well, I'll pause there for a moment. I'll let you bring us in here and update us into this. So this is on HBO, and I'll pull up the bona fides here in a moment for that. But I'll let you take it away and tee us up here, because this one you found and you wanted to watch, and we also have a little bit of connective tissue, like where we are reading a book, or we did a book thing a while ago, and eventually we'll complete that project and then turn it to a video. But for now, Robert Galbraith is this author and this intrigue here. Take it away, Tom.
Yes, and there's a little bit of mystery about the writer. It's actually a pen name for J.K. Rowling. So a few years back, I was kind of digging around, and I like the Harry Potter series. I've read it. I enjoyed the movies. So a little bit of history with that. I know that she wrote a book right after, or maybe a little bit after Harry Potter. It was about relationships or something. Didn't really catch my fancy. But then I had heard about this detective series she was writing under the name of Robert Galbraith. And I wanted to check it out. At the time, I wasn't really reading books. I had a long drive to work. It was from there and back. It was about a little over an hour each day. So, and I was getting sick and tired of the talk radio or listening to music. I was looking for something different, so I started listening to audiobooks on CD. I'm that old. I still have a CD player and listen to CD instead of Audible. But I noticed that there was these books were on CD. So I grabbed up the first three books. That in that time, though, there were only three books out. And I listened to the first three books on audiobook, and then I ended up, with COVID and whatnot, I ended up started working at home and started reading physical books again. So, but in that shuffle, I got away from it. I'd heard about a TV show based on the books, and I wanted to watch them at one point. And then towards the end of last year, every once in a while I'd get a little bug in me, and I've got to follow it. So I knew that she continued writing these books. So I picked up her latest book, or not her latest book, but the fourth book in the series, to get back into it, and which is Lethal White is the fourth book. And I had it on a stack, and I had several other books that I wanted to read, so I started reading it a couple of weeks ago, and almost done. But I also knew then I thought, oh, there's that series again. I need to check it out. So a long way to saying, yeah, it's been a roundabout way, but I finally, because I wasn't the last time I checked where the show was showing, it was started off as a British show, and I don't think it was really. I would had to find a way to watch it, and I found out it was actually on HBO. Yay! So Max, I have Max, and so there's actually I think 6 series as far as the British version. Mike and I know no British series now. So the British version, a series is their version of a season. There's 6 season or series, but with HBO, they broke it down into seasons, and the first series of Strike, which is known in Britain. It's called CB Strike here in America because I think it was on Cinemax at the beginning, and they had Strike Back or Strike Again series, so they wanted to differentiate it, so they put the initial CB Strike to make it sound different. So that's the reason for the name change. But yeah, so they combined the first 3 series into a first season on HBO, and then Lethal White is the second season, and then they kind of broke it down because it was 4 episodes, and then the next 2 seasons are a book in and of themselves, which are 4 episodes. So I actually watched the first 5 episodes. So I watched the complete Cuckoo Calling and then Silkworm. How far did you get, Mike?
I got about halfway through the fourth, not quite halfway through the fourth one, but I did enjoy it. And I was this one yet again. I found a really nice, comfortable thing to ease into that I can follow that is not overly complicated and has me enthralled and frustrated too. Like I can see where there's I got a little bit of commentary and I couldn't help but read ahead a little bit with where things are going because it didn't take away from anything from me from what I get out of it. But I can see that there's a whole world there, and I'm really excited to get the book. I'm going to get my book credits here for Audible, and I'm going to be listening to the audiobook versions you mentioned. The first ones that these are on, and then because I'm kind of slowing down because I do want to hit the books first. I would prefer, I mean, outside of the duties of what we're doing here today. But in 3 episodes isn't gonna sink anything. But it draws you in, and it's just so good. And I really like detective shows. There was a really weird one, and I was trying to find the name of it, and I still gotta find it while I stumble off to the side here while you keep this going. But yeah, this I was so surprised. I mean, I kind of already knew that she was that because you had told me, and it's not really a secret, but I can see if you were unawares in 2017 when this came out, or even, a couple years later, nobody's going to know that. So it's kind of like a little cool, and the fans around it are so fun. There are so many people like I watched a few fans reactions to some of these, and they're
Mhm,
all like younger, female. I saw older men. It was everybody, but they all had one thing in common, which was they really enjoyed J.K. Rowling or Harry
mhm.
Potter. And her writing, she knows how to write. um, so I'm not surprised. But
Yeah,
I really want to go back and enjoy the books
yeah,
because
yeah.
they say that that's where the enjoyment really comes from, for especially for this because she's alive. Anyway, it's
Mhm.
cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, you would think, maybe, reality-based, detective series, would be a private detective series would be kind of out of the realm of a writer that would write Harry Potter, but it really isn't because Harry Potter, even though it's a fantasy series, a lot of them, almost every single, well, all of the stories are except maybe the last couple of them, is mystery stories. There's a mystery, and some people have kind of accused Harry Potter of being maybe kind of Scooby Doo mystery esque as far as some of the mysteries in it. But those were her first few books. But she got to play around and kind of go through the ins and outs of a good mystery. So, by the time she started writing these Cormoran Strikes books, she really kind of knew how to structure a good mystery. So it's not really out of the norm for it. And now the cool thing about these is you've got an interesting mystery, but I think the thing that really hooks the readers in the viewers of the show is that the main characters. You got Cormoran Strike. He's an interesting character. Yeah, he's the main guy. He's the private detective. He's the son of a rock star, and also a junkie mother that he loves. He's estranged from his father. He did go into the military,
Right.
and that's where his leg gets blown off. So he is handicapped in the series. And he's coming off a bad relationship at the beginning, and Robin shows up as a temporary secretary, and almost gets killed
Yeah,
by
yeah,
getting
yeah.
knocked down the stairs. So, an auspicious introduction between the two of them. But at the heart of the series is Cormoran Strike and Robin. And they are the heart and soul of the book series and also of the TV series. You also have your outlier characters like the ex-girlfriend, Charlotte, who comes in and out of the story, and you have Matthew, Robin's fiance. But those are just minor characters that come in and out. But it's that core essence of those two characters, and then them
So good.
tackling the mysteries involved.
Yeah.
And you've got some interesting mysteries that kind of play with the mystery genre itself. Obviously, we won't get into spoilers in this. Obviously, we're trying to tempt you in and
Right.
answering the question whether or not it's binge worthy. But yeah, so we've got this first mystery, the Cuckoo's Calling. In With most of the series, you get introduced to the beginnings of the mystery. So we get to find out this Lula Landry character,
Right. At
in
a
her
party.
at her last moments of being alive.
Vibrant.
Yeah,
Alive. Yeah.
exactly. And you get these some of the clues, and then we switch on to being introduced to Cormoran and Robin. So, what did you think of these core characters, of Cormoran and Robin?
I really liked him. The veteran thing fits, and that's kind of like that is very similar to how like an American veteran would be, like having they're not on the upswing necessarily. They're not necessarily completely down and out. Although some stories would have the veteran, be a little bit more of a and shambles, I guess. But that other series that I was talking about that I was trying to think of that it reminded me of that came around the same time was Dirk. Jesus Christ, it was just right there. Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. They're two completely different concepts, but they both deal with like kind of
Mhm.
unconventional problem solving where it comes like where
Uh-huh.
those are baffling police. I really This is the between the characters, there is like this tension that's there,
Uh-huh.
that you kind of can't help but, I can feel like in later on, it's not quite there yet, but you can feel it there, like where do you remember Wonder Years? And there was like that, Winnie and Kevin, and then there was like that kind of slow roll up to their relationship there that like you could feel that there's something going on or whatever. And I
Yeah.
also, um, I don't know. I'll pause there
Yeah.
and say, cause I can say a lot, but,
Yeah,
I,
there's
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's that chemistry, instant chemistry between them because they both had the love of a good mystery and trying to figure it out. You could even though she's just the secretary, she's immediately trying to solve the mystery of Cormoran Strike. You know, she's researching him on that first episode. You know, trying to find out what makes this guy tick. And there's you know, even though she's almost kills, you know, she almost dies on their first meeting. There's that instant sort of you know, kind of chemistry between the two, kind of a spark. And they're kind of drawn towards each other. You don't know how far that's being drawn. But yeah, in this first mystery that they're solving, really kind of brings them together and kind of cements their relationship. You know that, you know, there's something to that relationship. How
Well,
far it'll get to, we don't know at this point.
they have far more familiarity with each other, the way that their chemistry is, than just a working relationship. I'll put that way, like that
Yeah.
between, Ellicott
Mhm.
and Strike.
Yeah,
Um, like,
and it
it
weighs.
draws you in. It
Yeah,
draws you in, anyway.
absolutely. Yeah, and so the show really kinda hangs on, the acting, and the personalities of the two main leads. Corman's played by Tom Burke, and, Robin's played by Holliday, Grainger, I believe is how you pronounce her last name,
Yeah,
but,
I don't know. Well, that's because of their BBC, because this
yeah,
came out on BBC One, didn't it? Didn't come out
I
on
believe so.
HBO, it came out on BBC, right?
Right, it's a British
Yeah,
show. I guess,
yeah.
yeah, HBO. Well, I think it first was on Cinemax and then
Oh,
onto
okay,
HBO. Yeah, you get the
okay.
little Cinemax tag at the beginning of it, which we used to call Skinemax, but, I guess they have, they have different shows now, which is owned by, I guess, Warner Brothers and HBO, so anyway, but yeah, so you got the chemistry. I will say, they do a good
I've
job of
seen her
casting.
before. I haven't
Yeah,
seen Tom before, but I've seen Holiday before.
yeah,
Uh,
and Holiday really looks like how I envisioned Robin
mm,
in the books. Tom Burke is actually a really good Cormoran Strike. I've really kind of got into him. But if you read him on the page, he's probably a little bit more uglier than
mhm.
what Tom looks like. And his hair's been described in the book as maybe pube like, maybe kind of a mess. Maybe not as
Cormoran,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, not as good as Cormoran's. And
Yeah.
Cormoran's maybe a little bit more beefier and stockier. They do kind of have him wear these kind of heavy coats and stuff to make him look a little bit bigger. But I did fall in love with how Cormoran looks in the show, and I've now since kind of edited my version of him, my mental vision of him, and he's
How
more looks like Tom Burke when I read him now.
how is it? Maybe this is a question you might have to say for a little bit later on when we get further in the discussion. We're not too far in, with 20
Mhm.
minutes in. Um, how does the book and the characters and their chemistry translate versus the first few? Or does that
Well,
give too much away?
no, I will say, the show, does a good job of translating what they can into film. One of the delights, and maybe you've kind of touched on it with watching the videos of other people talking about it. The real
A lot
meat,
of people, like
yeah,
British people and normal, I mean, it's
yeah,
really, they're
yeah,
really into it. Like it, and
yeah,
sometimes the really good ones, they'll talk about the book, and sometimes I have to like not watch those because like I want to
yeah.
read the book a little bit later on.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but but yeah, the joy of the book is really the inner monologues between, because you get into the
Mm.
heads of both Cormoran and Robin. So that
Oh, okay.
that element is missing in the book or in the series. So obviously, unless you do kind of like like a film noir and have the narrator narrate the movie, what the guy, yeah, and it's not told in first person, it's told in third person, so doing a narration wouldn't really work for the series because
Yeah.
that's not how the book is written. So it's kind of a hard situation of trying to translate their emotions that are inner emotions into film. You only could do it in expressions and whatnot. So if you do enjoy the series, I implore you to read the books, because you get into the heads of them, and you really
Mhm.
know, you kind of get into the inner workings of him, kind of piece together the mystery, as opposed to the verbal and the physical clues that you get in the series. So I think the series does a good job of translating what they can, and then to get the full picture, you really do have to read the books. And I will say, reading Lethal White while watching those first episodes, it's been a while since I listened to those first three books. And I didn't do a reread before reading this. So rewatching the show, or watching the show, kind of is a good way of catching up on. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Oh yeah, this is
Right.
that's sort of a tie to what they did earlier. So yeah, but it also kind of messed with my head, because while I was watching it, I was watching the show and reading, and then I got kind of mixed up. It's like, okay, what's happening now? Because when I get back to the page, I was thinking about the last scene in the show, and I'm like, oh wait, no, I was getting a little confused. But but yeah, so that might not be the best way of doing it, but yeah, it's kind of fun anyway. But yeah, getting back into the heads of the characters, and I think as the books go on, and the you get to know the characters a little bit more, it becomes better and better, you know.
Yeah, it's not quite as, I mean, I was gonna say Sherlock, which I did. That's a very limited series with Benedict Cumberbatch, but it's
Hmm.
also very good. It's a modern take on it, and it kind of takes its own time, and it's also kind of weird. I think there's like I think there's like 4 episodes per season. Not a lot, whatever it is. But I remember that. So like, I really enjoyed that Dirk one that I mentioned before. There's other ones that keep popping up, like Broadchurch. I have no idea what that one is, although I will maybe check it out on the margins. But this one, it keeps you there. You feel like you are part of you're actively uncovering things, the realism and the authenticity for the character. A one-legged detective that's a veteran that is just so kind of like a normal human being,
Hmm.
that has his flaws. He is not perfect, by whatever. But he's also not like a pathetic loser either. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
where they kind of overemphasize his goofiness or something stupid.
right, yeah.
Everything's very serious, and you take it serious, and I enjoy that, and it just draws you in. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, what, what's going to happen next? Like, it has you there. Although it does require your full attention, and it pulls you in. I would just say, but that's not a downside. That's a good thing. Um,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
anyway, go back to you.
Yeah, and you got the two core main characters that are interesting. Yeah, like Cormoran. Well, one of the things about detective work is there's a lot of legwork, and he's kind of
Right.
handicapped there. He does face the frustration of having just one leg, and the fact that you have to follow sometimes you have to kind of shadow a suspect. The fact of him spending all day kind of following in the footsteps of someone is kind of a major deal for him because of his leg. He faces uphill battles with that, but he kind of compensates it for his intelligence and his way of kind of bullying his way through an investigation and getting what he wants. He's also, despite him, maybe not being the best looking guy, especially in the books, he is a bit of a ladies' man in this, but that's not overplayed
Mm-mm.
to any degree. You know, he's a
He
bit
has charisma.
humble. Yeah, he has charisma and he's kind of humble about it. You know, he doesn't, take anything for granted. And I think that's kind of a reflection of, he saw the excesses that his father did as a rock star, and and the excesses that his mother went through with her drug addiction. And so he's sort of even balanced, although he does enjoy the occasional beer. And he does kind of go through his bouts with with that. But yeah, very interesting character. And you can't just have two core
Very human.
interesting characters. Yeah, the mysteries around them and the characters that kind of are
How they
involved in the
navigate it.
mystery, yeah,
Yeah.
are very interesting.
And
Yeah, yeah, go
and how
ahead.
the characters develop around that with,
Mhm.
it is everything that modern things are and that I complain about, like the endless exposition, the thing of like, I'm going to go over here, and then they go over there. None of that. None of that.
Yeah, and there's the financial aspect of it. You know, he's a bit of down on his luck. He's at the beginning
Right.
of the show, he's living out of his office. And yeah, he's probably at his worst, but they've got this very interesting mystery that they're trying to solve. Robin's right there with him. She's only temp for a week, but then she decides to stay kind of off the books of her temp agency, and decides to stay. And she has the opportunity to get an actual real job, and she kind of has this frustration of whether or not she wants to get a safe job, or maybe take that financial risk but pursue her love and what she's always wanted to do, which is to be a detective. And that love of the game is what kind of bonds her and Cormoran together. And whether or not it's friendship or if it's something more, that's to be decided later. But yeah, there's
Well, you're also kind of coming at the beginning of her. I mean, essentially, what you're saying, what you're talking about for her, for Robin, she's kind of beginning a new path in life, like
yeah.
questioning it for where she's going, and she has got to make some choices,
Hmm.
essentially, and that naturally rolls out to for her emotional state
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
the pressure
and
that you see for her, because it's kind of the
mhm.
same for him, but in a different way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it kind of mirrors him in that he's coming off a really bad relationship,
Right.
kind of a mutually kind of abusive relationship, where they're probably addicted to themselves, to each
Right.
other.
Not I
Uh,
right.
yeah, yeah. So he's getting a fresh start as well, and he's kind of had to go it alone, as a detective, to pursue his dream. Although maybe the people around him, like we get briefly introduced to his sister, I think in the first episode, and she's wants him to get a real job, quote unquote real job as well. And so he's the first time meeting Robin, she's finding someone that she sees that could lead her to a path to becoming a private detective. He's finding kind of a co-conspirator to develop this business of private detective, because he's probably on the
Um,
he's got the creditors outside the door. He's probably unless without getting this big case at the beginning of the
well
show, he might have been on the outs.
well, he's hard up, I mean,
Yeah,
he is not he's not a loser, but he is definitely on a losing streak that he is not good for
he's on the ropes.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you cramped offices, you can see he's living and working out of, his wherever you can catch a nap,
Hmm.
essentially, in between cases while trying to hit the hard streets, of London.
Hmm.
Not easy for him. And I love that too. Like that just it makes him more endearing that you see him and that
Hmm.
it's not it's not entertainment to see him suffer at all, but you can see like where it's just one more thing one more
Has to deal with. Yeah.
what one more thing he's got to get through before he can get to what he really needs to get to.
Right.
But and you kind of she comes along
Mhm.
and is a
Yeah.
good. I don't know how to. I don't know their chemistry. She just makes him a little bit better for what pulls him out of the kind of the negative spot that he's in, and
Yeah,
kind of pulls a little
he
bit more out of him, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, he could, you could see him going towards the dark path, kinda getting
Yeah.
dark and kind of brooding. She kinda brings the charm, the brightness to the situation. They kind of balance each other out in that respects. I think, my I kinda got, kinda sidelined on my original point, but, my original point was that, this isn't your armchair mystery. You brought up Sherlock Holmes. He's not in his comfy chair, trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
They do have some real life challenges that kind of pressures them. And so those real life pressures and day to day things like, maybe, picking a job, do I go with the safe job or the one that I love? She has that personal struggle within her, but also the fun thing of, going through this mystery, trying to solve this. And I think that's sort of the core of these books are the relationships plus the mystery and how they interact and how maybe they reflect what's going on with the mystery and what's going on with their day-to-day life. But I think, and I think it gets more and more involved as the books go on and the series goes on.
Well, kind of the what you said earlier today, or what reminded me of the whole kind of the point. You asked me how I thought about the characters, and they're very endearing. And after you
Mhm.
spend at least 3 hours with them, at least, just that, the answer is yes. You want to spend more time and to see that where it goes. But we kind of set the table for that, and and we're getting into the first episode. You go through the party with Lula, and then you're really developing these characters and how they they learn it's the performances breathe, uh is what I want to say.
Mhm.
Like, they're not rushed, they're not, the exposition's not there, although it does require you to kind of watch and pay attention to what's going on the screen, because that is how that builds. It's not like Sherlock at all. It's not like some kind of
Mhm.
convoluted, what's that guy, like a Rube Goldberg, kind of machine to get butter, on toast or something, something
Yeah.
stupid like that. Like, where it's like, I'm
Mhm.
kind of being joking. I'm not. That's not really a true fair thing for Sherlock. But anyway, it's not. It's like, like sciency, like, like the
Right, yeah,
anyway.
they don't put the paper in the thing and the liquid and find the answer that way. But yeah, it's a lot of legwork. If there were police detectives and had the drive, they would have access to everything and probably have it resolved within within a day or two. But they have to deal with the police's lack of interest or maybe jumping to conclusions, maybe not have the drive to, if it, the maybe take it at face value and maybe not dig a little deeper on the things that that have a little question mark to them. Whereas Cormoran Strike and Robin are paid to kind of dig in a bit deeper and look at it from a different angle. And if they had all the clues in front of them, it may be an easier path to understand of what's going on. But they kind of have to go at different angles, maybe do some things that are maybe quote unquote a little bit illegal, but whatever they can to get the job done. But at the end of the day, when it's solved, it all makes sense. Like Mike was saying, it's not like a stretch of the imagination as to what what was actually going on. They just had to kind of go at different angles to try to figure out to dig up the clues. It's not always easiest to get the answers out of people, and it kind of you deal with your witnesses lying to you until you can get the goods on them to get the answers.
Well, you hit a hard point at the end of episode one, where you've established the characters, you know what the mystery is, you know who these people are, what's going on, is this one thing, or is it something else? And if it is something else, what happened, at this thing before she died? I'm trying to be a little bit vague, for the details, for going to episode two. But anyway, the interplay with the, they're compelling, and I really do. I do remember Holliday Grainger now. That I've seen her in other things that I have enjoyed very much. And I'm not surprised. Well, in the Tom Burke anyway, he's also enduring as well.
Mhm.
But anyway, so I pass it back to you, Tom.
Yeah, yeah, and you, is your favorite rapper now DB Mac?
Yeah, right.
He's the he's the fictional rapper in this. I don't know if that's the best name for a rapper. I don't know. I don't know rappers too well, but
I
yeah.
mean, it's the UK, so I mean, their bacon is not what we would call bacon. I can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was a big debate on pigs in the blanket
I'm
over
good.
the holiday, but and what that actually is. But yeah, so yeah, it's very interesting. This kind of continues our love for British television. If you've stuck with us for a while, with Bingeworthy, we've had a journey with British shows. We focused on their comedies for a while, so it's good to get into a good serious drama with them. I think with the series, since they aren't able to kind of dig into the emotional side, the inner workings of the minds of the characters, it kind of translate more of a traditional kind of a mystery series, whereas the books are a lot more heavily into the relationships or the relationships of the minds of struggling with their feelings for various things. So you don't get access to that in the show. So one of the things that I missed while watching the show was getting into the heads of the characters. I know
Mm.
what they're kind of thinking because I've read the books, but I think if you just watch the series, you get more of a traditional kind of a mystery story as opposed to really getting into their heads. So again, I recommend the books if you like reading, if you like these characters and want to know more about them. Then I definitely recommend the books as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that you want to spend more time with these characters and get to know them more, and it's kind of like comfort food, I guess.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's
yeah, absolutely.
a little bit more satisfactory than that.
Hmm.
I maybe a notch or two above that. Like where it is very satisfying to watch these because you feel like you're actually going somewhere. Like, and
Yeah.
you do get invested in them, and you kind of do wonder if there could be more there. And it's even better if you can hear their thoughts because then
Hmm.
then it can really give you a layer that is undeniable and probably frustrates the hell out of you. I would imagine with that interplay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and another cool thing about this series is that very manageable episodes. Yeah, the first three episodes are the book, the first book. So there's not a lot of one of the things whenever you make a series or a season of a book, there's a lot of padding. Usually if you have to have 10 episodes, 13 episodes, you get a lot of padding. There's a lot of extra stuff in there that maybe doesn't need to be there. Whereas this is just 3 episodes translating the book. So you don't got a lot of room to just kind of goof off. So the story is very tightly written. You can't you really can't miss an episode because then you'll be completely lost. But yeah, so they're quick in and out. We got a 3 episode thing for binge worthy. 3 episodes, you're done with the first mystery. So so you're either locked in or you're not. So you know whether or not you want to continue with the series after those first 3 episodes. And then the next 2 episodes are the next book. So that's in and out. And then the next book is only 2 episodes as well. Now the as as with Harry Potter, as she wrote, each book got longer and longer. And so the seasons, those first 3 books are super long. But the fourth book that I'm reading currently is 650 pages. And that's 4 episodes, which got a season in and of itself here in the States. And then the next book, the fifth book, that I'll be reading in the series is 900 pages. And then the The sixth book is 1,000 pages, or not 1,000 pages, 1,000. Yeah, I guess that is. But 1,000 pages, and then the next two books I think are 900 pages. So they're
That's
pretty
crazy.
hefty books as they go along. But like with this one, there is like two different mysteries going on. So it justifies itself to be this long. In this book, I can't say for the next books. Now I've got the other two books ordered from Amazon, and because of the snow, they're stuck in
Delayed.
transition,
Yeah.
delayed. So hopefully I'll get them by Wednesday.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'll be finishing this weekend. And then very much anticipating the new books. Because as I finish a book, I'll watch the season. The
Yeah, there's
seasons,
that many. Yeah.
yeah, there's six. They've got seasons for the first
6 series.
six series for the first six books, and then the seventh book series is has already been filmed. It's going to be released this year, and I'm sure
Awesome.
they'll do the eighth book as well. I'm sure.
Well,
Um,
this is also like that Dirk Gently, well, all these other kind of shows that we've been talking about, like, I think it's a total of 19 episodes across 6,
mhm,
seasons or 6 series
mhm.
is
It's six books. Yeah.
is the other pond, other side of the pond. But no, I really enjoy this. It's gonna pull me in, and if anything, it's gonna make me stop and go listen to. At least I got my February book list ready to go for this to listen to the books and then go back and pick up that, and then maybe I'll probably double up on the books and then surpass that point and then catch up with the show and then see how I feel. And you'll probably get me into another good loop of good noir, good procedural, good mystery,
Mhm,
real human. He's a hero. I mean, but he doesn't. He's down, but he's not dysfunctional.
mhm.
Which
Yeah, you know he's been through it, but he's seen the other side of
they're
things.
human, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Absolutely.
know, and ever he has room to grow, and I think Robin's there to help him grow in a good way, and vice versa. They probably met each other at a time when both of them needed to meet each other, so it's kind of perfect opportunity kind of thing. And again, you know J.K. Rowling's at a point in her career that she could probably do away with novel writing because she's writing scripts for those Harry Potter movie sequels. But I'm glad that she's sticking with the novel writing and has created this new series that is highly enjoyable. But yeah, great work. Again, love her writing. Been a fan since Harry Potter, and still am. I'm with this series, and I'm very much invested in Lethal White, and I was looking at the ratings of the series, and I think Lethal White has the lowest ratings. I don't know why, which is in the 70 percent, whereas the next series is like at 90. So so I'm looking forward to that next series in book as well. 7.9. I think that's pretty decent. We're not really into
That's
ratings on the show on shows, but
Yeah, yeah. But no, but it is a good barometer of sometimes it is, you just kind of
mhm,
have to know, kind of like, yes, that means that number can mean something, but like there's some things here too. Not to get into the split between critics and normal people. I don't know. We don't do that. Most of the
nah,
things
nah.
we watch or see are if it's not critically acclaimed, it is fan acclaimed, and that's
Mhm.
probably more important than anything else because that drives more of what smart people want to find and watch, and this is something
Mhm.
smart people can find and watch and get sucked
Yeah.
into, and also have another layer of at least two other layers to this damn thing, which is the
Mhm.
books, and then I have no doubt that is why I stumbled into so many reviews like where it was talking about the episode, but it wasn't really. It was also intertwined with the book, and it was like very detailed. And I was like, "Oh crap! I gotta, I need to stop the tape because I don't want to know that yet. I want to wait." But a beautiful synergy between the books and the thing. So you're not going to go wrong with this if you like. If
A
you're
good
younger and you
mystery.
like Harry Potter, or older, doesn't matter. Just good writing is good writing, and that's on
Mhm.
display.
Good mystery is a good mystery. Yeah, we're our channel, we mainly focus on horror, sci-fi, fantasy, but we have our outliers. We both like westerns. We also like a good mystery, a good film
Hmm.
noir. Uh, but
Procedural.
uh, but yeah, maybe we're a little weaker on mystery. So if you came to our show today, fresh and are really into mysteries, give us those suggestions down below of your favorite mystery, either books or series that we might want to check out. And we certainly will make note of those if we haven't already seen those. But yeah, we are first last nerdum, and if you have liked our show, you might want to give us a like, maybe a subscribe. We maybe not appeal to you every week, because we we have a real big wide range of likes
We
that
do.
cover all over, which may be a detriment to our channel since we don't have a laser focus on things, but we love covering everything. So if you do as well, you might find a lot of things to enjoy on our channel.
Absolutely. Perfectly said, Tom. I've been Mike.
And I'm Tom. Keep the mystery alive.